What's up, YouTube? It's Rob. Welcome to Becoming Rob. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why you need a budget, and I'm going to tell you how budgeting saved my marriage. Stay tuned, we're going to talk about it. But first, I'm going to come to you this morning with a little daily motivation. Today, I'm reading from The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You may have seen this book, it's a classic. Go ahead and get it if you've never read it. But let's read a little bit from it for our daily motivation. It says, your economic security does not lie in your job, it lies in your own power to produce, to think, to learn, to create, to adapt. That's true financial independence. It's not having wealth, it's having the power to produce wealth. It's intrinsic. There's a little motivation for you on this Wednesday. Okay, so thanks for joining me. Go ahead and click the like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to hear more. Hopefully, this helped you. Okay, today I want to talk about 5 reasons why you need a budget. It has been so important to me to start budgeting money. Talking about how we handle our money is something that is very personal to everyone. No one wants to talk about it. Sometimes it can be embarrassing, especially when you feel like you're not in the place where you should be. And so we don't talk about it, we don't seek help about it. It's just like something that we feel like we should know, and we feel like everyone else knows, and we don't want to let people know that we're deficient in that area. But I want to encourage you not to be embarrassed, because learning how to handle your money is just like you learning anything else. One day you did not know how to do math, and then someone taught you how to do math, and then now you know how to do math. Some of you probably looking at me like I still don't know how to do math. One day you did not know how to walk, right? Someone taught you how to walk, someone worked with you, someone watched you fall. Some of you may have crawled for a very long time, and finally your parents, just propped you up and you learned to walk. You're working in a job right now. There is training on the job. No one just throws you into the job and expects you to proficiently and efficiently perform your job tasks. No, you need training. You need to work on it. And so don't be ashamed if you feel like you're not using your money the way you should, because you need training. You need to talk about it. Someone needs to teach you. And so hopefully these reasons why you need a budget is going to start you on that path, especially for young men. It is so, so, so important. There's a big conversation out there going on about in the manosphere about being red pilled. And one of the things they will always tell you is that women are going to be attracted to a man with finances, and a man with means, and a man with a plan. So no matter how much you make, it's not about how much you make, it is about how much you can keep, and you will be able to efficiently keep your money if you're able to live by a budget. Okay, let's go to 5 reasons why you need a budget, and then I'll end and tell you exactly how budgeting saved my marriage. Because when I first got married, I did not live on a budget, um, or I should say, we did not live on a budget, and it was very hard, very difficult. I'll get into it later, but follow along with me. We'll talk about these 5 reasons, and I'll tell you how this can not only save yourself if you're married or you want to be married one day, it will save your marriage. Okay, reason number one, 5 reasons why you need a budget. Reason number one, it helps you keep your eyes on the prize. Okay, a budget helps you figure out your long term goals and work toward them. If you just drift aimlessly through life, tossing your money at whatever is pretty, shiny, whatever the new object is, that happens to catch your eye, how will you ever save up enough money to buy a car or put a down payment on a home? Okay, that's just very simple. It helps you keep your eyes on the prize. That's one way of saying it helps you focus on your goals. What do you want? You have to be clear on what you want. I'm a systems engineer, and one of the things my team lead always puts in front of us when we have a team meeting is this quote. And basically the end of the quote, the point is, what do you want? Where do you want to go? And so as systems engineers, we are trying to define what this system is supposed to do. And that is fundamental to any program, to anything you're trying to do. What is this system supposed to do? What do we want it to do? And if we can describe that, if we can explain that, then we are on the road to building a successful system. What do you want your money to do? You have to be clear on that. Get an idea. Think about it. How do you want to live? How are you living now? How do you want to live next year? How do you want to live 5 years from now? How do you want to live 10 years from now? Set the course. Keep your eyes on the prize. And when you sit down to do that budget, you you have those things in mind, it is going to help you. You will say, "Oh, I can't do X, Y, and Z because next year I want to live like this. 5 years from now, I want to live like this. 10 years from now, I want to live like this." And so instead of doing X, Y, and Z, I'm going to do A, B, and C. Okay. It'll help you make decisions. It helps you. And when you make those decisions, it helps you make those decisions for the way you want to live, for the places you want your money to go in the future. Okay. Keep your eyes on the prize. Number two, it helps ensure you don't spend money you do not have. Very simple, makes sense. Far too many consumers spend money that they do not have. And we owe it all to credit cards, right? So if you have a credit card, you have to be very, very, very careful. I'm not the one who will say no credit cards, but you need to find your favorite financial guru, financial advisor. And listen, there's so many good ones out there, and all of their systems work. Um, Most of their systems work. uh, but find the person you like, whether that's Dave Ramsey's, whether that's Susie Orman. Shout out to Anton Daniels. If you don't know who Anton Daniels is, look him up on YouTube. He's very proficient in helping people budget and learn how to handle their money. He's more of a business and entrepreneurial mind. Susie Orman is a everyday budgeting and learn how to handle your money. Dave Ramsey is a no credit, um, no debt type of financial advisor, and he's very good. All of them are very good. There's so many more. Those are just three that come to the top of my head, and I definitely follow Dave Ramsey, especially at the beginning of my marriage, which I'll talk about later, and then right now as I've paid off almost all of my debt and I'm looking for business opportunities. I listen a lot to Anton Daniels. So shout out to you, Dave and Anton Daniels. Look those guys up. Okay. Um, the average credit card debt per household reached $5,525 in 2021. That doesn't sound like a lot. Um, However, that's the average, right? There's people who have way more than that, and probably a lot of people who have less. These days, people who overuse and abuse credit cards don't always realize they're overspending until they're drowning in debt. And see, the credit card can kind of confuse you like that or trick you like that, right? You buy uh so much, but they send you a bill for just a little bit. And the whole point of the credit card is not to help you, although they will advertise and oh, this is going to help you, freedom and blah blah blah. No, the point of the credit card is to get you to spend more than you have and then have you pay it off over long periods of time and you end up paying more than what you actually spent. That's called interest. You pay interest to the banking institution, to the credit card company, and they love sending you those little bills for just a fraction of what you spent, because they want you to continue to pay over time. You want to knock those out, keep that as low as possible. If you create a budget and stick to it, you'll never find yourself in this precarious position. You never have to worry about drowning in debt because you decided to spend your money before you got your check. Do the budget before you get your check, and that way the money is already spent. You don't have to worry about overspending because you have a budget. Number three, it helps lead to a happier retirement. Thinking about the future. You have to think about the future. We're all going to one day get too old to work. And a lot of us, if you're a millennial like me, millennials are entering their 40s. I'm 38. Um, you're a millennial like me, man. We don't even want to work to retirement age. Shout out to all the millennials out there. We don't even want to work to retirement age. And so you have to be intentional with your money. You have to save in a retirement account, whether that's a 401k, a Roth 401k. I should talk about the differences in those one day. But you can find the definitions for those things online. If you never thought about this or never considered these things, now's the time. You're hearing it from me. I'm not a financial guru. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only telling you because I have experienced all of these things, right? Right. Once upon a time, I didn't have any of these things. I do have a individual retirement account, an IRA, and I do have a Roth 401k. So look up the differences in those. If you're an entrepreneur, you know there's different options for you. Most of us work a 9 to 5 job, 40 hours a week. A lot of times your employer will have a 401k available or some kind of retirement plan available. If not, then you can always open your own IRA, which is an individual retirement account. Okay, your budget allows you to look at the money you make and make sure that you put a portion aside for your retirement. One day you will be too old to work and you will need that money. One day you might not want to work anyway. And it's important to remember that retirement is not a date, is not an age, it is a number. So ask yourself how you want to live when you're retired. How much income do you want? How much income do you need when you're retired? And do all the calculations. I should do another entry on that. Do the calculations. And when you have enough money invested and saved up to give you the income that you want and need in retirement, you are ready to retire. Okay, that's very, very simple. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'll point you to some resources, maybe on another um, entry here on YouTube, to some people who are teaching how to do that calculation and what to think about, because retirement is not a date, it is not 65. It doesn't have to be 65. That's all you need, is enough money invested and enough money saved up so that you can replace your income or live the way you want to live. Once you reach that number, there's no reason to go to work anymore. Okay. I have a number. My number is 3.5 million. Okay. I did the calculation. I understand how much money, how much income I want to have. And I have a number. My number is 3.5 million. I know that that's going to allow me to pay off all my real estate and still have and replace my income as far as the revenue that comes from the investments and what I have saved up. Okay, my number is 3.5 million. Seems like a lot, but at least I know what it is, and now I can save toward that. Okay, Number four, it helps you prepare for emergencies. Oh man, this is such a big one. If you don't follow Dave Ramsey, go ahead and follow him. He's always going to tell you how you should have an emergency fund. Okay, that should Dave is going to tell you that should be like one of the first things you do. Put $1,000 aside for emergencies, for a rainy day. Bad things happen. If you are my age 38 or older, you know that bad things happen. Just things are going to happen to you that are out of your control. And a lot of time, those things cost money. And it really, really sucks if you sit down and do a budget and you get everything together and you feel like, great, I'm ready for the month or I'm ready for my 2 weeks, whatever your pay period is. And then you blow a tire. Then the engine gives out. Then you have electrical problems at the home, or then something pops up with your kids. They want to play a sport, or they have something they have to buy at school, and all of a sudden these things pop up and they impact our budget, and we didn't plan for them. Well, you should be planning for emergencies as part of your budget. You should have something put away. Emergencies don't have to be part of your budget all the time, but the point is, make it part of your budget, maybe for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever you feel like you need for emergencies. And then you put that money aside, and now you feel comfortable. You can breathe easy. There's a sense of ease and relief when you have an emergency fund. I just went through this because we have a rental property. My wife and I have a rental property, and we went like 6 months without um, a tenant. Well, we had money saved up specifically for that purpose. Hey, we might have a vacancy. Hey, we might have to do some renovation or whatever in between tenants. And so that means you might take a few months to, uh, and you might miss rent for a few months, but you still have to pay the mortgage, whatever. We didn't have to worry about it because we had saved money for specifically for that purpose before. Okay, it will save you. Okay, bad things happen, rainy days come. If you have money set aside, you will feel a lot better. So use your budget to set aside an emergency fund. Okay, number five, it helps you shed light on bad spending habits. Building a budget forces you to take a close look at your spending habits. You may notice that you're spending money on things you do not need. Do you honestly watch all 500 channels on your cable or satellite bill, right? Um, do you need all of the streaming subscriptions that you need? Do you really need 30 pairs of black shoes? Budgeting allows you to rethink your spending habits and refocus your financial goals. My budget, and I should make this available. I'm going to make this available to the budget format I use, but there's so many apps out there to use. Your bank might have a budgeting app. Um, Again, follow Dave Ramsey. He has a whole suite of tools and apps that you can use. Dave should probably send me a check. I'm really, I'm really setting him up. And then, not in this one, but in upcoming posts, I'll even go ahead and share the format that I use for my budget. But the point is, uh, when I'm looking at my budget, I have two columns, one for what I think something is going to cost, what I expect it to cost, and most of those things are fixed, like your cable bill, your phone bill, um, things of that nature, things that the cost doesn't change. But some things change, right? Your electricity, your water, it all depends on how much you use for the month. So I have two columns, one for, and when I do the budget before I get paid, I do a column called what I expect that bill to cost, what I expect that expense to be. And then at the end of the pay period, I have another column said what I actually paid on it. So I have a fast food budget, and I say this is how much we're going to spend on fast food for the month or for the 2 weeks. And Then at the end of the 2 weeks, at the end of the pay period, we mark in the next column what we actually spent. This allows us to go back and we can tell how well we're sticking to the budget, or is there a need to increase the budget in a given place, or do we have room to decrease in a given place? Now, this especially works great, not with something like fast food, right? If we overspend on fast food, we kind of look at ourselves and say, hey, okay, let's get it together. Let's bring that back because that's something we can control. But inflation has been hitting with the groceries. And so I'm sure a lot of you out there are feeling gas and groceries rising because of inflation. And so I can tell what I budgeted and I can tell what I actually spent. And that gives me a sense of what's going on in the world, how the grocery budget is increasing. And now I can say, okay, I need to increase my grocery budget. And that's going to force me to cut back in other areas. But it's all in front of me. It's all right there on the sheet. I do it in Excel on the Excel sheet. It's all right in front of me. I make a few dollar changes in the grocery area or in the gas area, and then I can go down the list and say, okay, I have room to cut back here, here, and here. Maybe we won't do this, maybe we will do this. And it keeps everything in order and in front of me. It allows you to breathe easy. Okay, so those are the 5 reasons why you need a budget. I hope you enjoy that. Now it's story time. Story time. How budgeting saved my marriage. When I first got married, I was 28. My wife was 23. We had a baby on the way. Um, and this was about 10 years ago now. Um, we didn't have a budget, but I had a good job. I had a house already. I had a house, paying a mortgage, and we were living. I had a car payment. And the whole nother story. I had just uh, paid off my wife's car, so we only had one car payment, but we felt the stress and strain of every pay period, every month, feeling like, oh man, we have to move things around. Um, it was very hard, a lot of arguments. Um, we still hadn't totally found a system to combine our finances. And so I had given her access to my bank account, but her name wasn't on it. So she couldn't go to the bank and do all she needed to do. So she was feeling very insecure about what's going on with our finances. I was feeling very like defensive because I'm like, hey, don't you know I'm taking care of it? We're going to be okay. Um, but it was a lot of arguments, and we just kept trying to find different things, different ways. Like I said, I gave her access. No, first I gave her my debit card for her to use, but obviously that is not a long-term solution. And so then we created another account where I tried to give her access, moving money over to her account so she can do different things, but she was still worried about what we have in the total account and what we have together. She was doing little budgeting machinations on pieces of paper, trying to calculate out everything that's going on with the home. And a lot of arguments, and I'm sure a lot of couples go through it. A lot of young couples go through it, and so we were going through it as well, and it was getting very tiresome. I'm the type of person I hate arguing, especially hate arguing with my wife, and so finally, I just said, "Let's stop. Let's back up and what can we do? What can I do to help make you feel secure? What can we do to stop arguing about finances and to stop finding ourselves in we kept finding ourselves in those sort of oh moments, right, when bad things happen, not having that emergency fund. We found ourselves in that, the car broke a couple times, especially we lived in Tucson, Arizona, and for some reason my car the battery would die every summer. It gets very, very hot, and I'm sure there was something wrong with my car, but every summer my battery would die at the most inopportune time, and we need to go and get another battery from the local AutoZone or whatever. And so after uh, high tension, feeling people feel insecure, people feel unappreciated, people feel uh, distressed in those moments. And I always tell husbands, man, your wife wants to feel secure. Whether that's emotionally secure, physically secure, and financially secure. She wants to feel secure, and so that's why you have to have a plan, and not just a high earning income, right? You can make it with a whatever they want to call it, an average income, a slightly above average income, if you have a plan. That's why I'm telling you, you need a budget, and that is finally what I did. I had a good job. I was able to pay for my car payment and um, whatever debts we had, paying for in the house. But I was really getting caught by those oh moments, those rainy days, and that made my wife feel insecure. And so we finally stopped, we backed up, we went to the bank, opened a joint account, and said, "Listen, we're just going to combine our finances." We kept a personal account, and we use our personal account sort of as an allowance account. And so uh, my check goes into the combined account, the shared account, and from there we use our budget to obviously pay all the bills, and we use our budget to give each of us a personal allowance where we're able to do whatever we want to do with that money. Okay. But that budget really alleviated all the stress. After that budget, we were able to build our savings account. After that budget, um, obviously, my wife felt more secure every month knowing that, hey, the bills are already paid before we even get the check. Why? How do we know the bills are paid? Because we have sat down and looked at the budget and allocated the money for all the bills, for the savings. We were able to start a college savings account for our daughters, and we have been able to live. It's just so free. It's so relaxing. And because my wife did work when we first got married, but she transitioned to being a stay-at-home wife and mother, and so um, she really handles the budget now, right? Like I sometimes I don't. It's probably not the best thing, but sometimes I don't even know what we're doing. But I can relax and knowing and just trusting that she's got it handled. And when she needs help, when she needs to talk about something, we can talk not in a heated manner. We open the budget and talk about the budget. And it's very, 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 very simple. It has alleviated so many arguments in our life, and it gives her a sense of appreciation, a sense of being needed. Here she was. She always planned to be a working woman, but here she is, staying at home. And so she wants to have that value, that worth in the relationship. And one of the ways in which that happens for her is that she manages the budget. She makes, pretty much makes all those decisions, although I do believe in men and husbands being the leaders of uh, their family, and finance is one of those areas. However, I allow her to. Yeah, I wish she was here so she can hear me talking about this. Shout out to you, wife. But I do allow her to do that. But I love her so much because she respects that role that I have. And, when she needs to make decisions, especially big decisions. She'll come and talk to me something that's going to affect the budget, not only now but in the future. How to move money around. She'll come to me, ask me what I think, talk to me about it, and I make a decision and we move on. So there it is. The budget will really help you. I hope that you go ahead and start your budget, find the best app, find uh, work with your bank, use the banking app, or you know link up with Dave Ramsey and his team over there, and they will help you as well. It'll help you get out of debt. It'll definitely help you keep your eyes on your goals. And if you're married, it is going to alleviate so many of the arguments around finance, because really that is one of the major reasons why people get divorced. Okay, so if you want to increase your chance of having a healthy, successful marriage, go ahead and get the budget and have those financial talks. And the budget allows you to have those financial talks without so much emotion, right? You don't want to get heated. You don't want to have an emotional outburst. Let's just talk about the budget, talk about the numbers, and hopefully it becomes clear on some decisions that you have to make. And then you can secure your future. You feel so more secure. Your wife will feel more secure, and it's going to be a better situation for you. Go ahead and like and subscribe if this helped you. Remember, I'm coming to you every morning, Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. streaming live because I don't have time. I'm going to go upstairs, take care of my family. You go ahead and do the same. I will see you tomorrow.